When intelligence became a weapon in an office. Love triangle. This is a story about three intelligent people, one quiet man, two brilliant women, and the moment intelligence stopped being a gift and became a weapon. No one threw punches. No one screamed. But by the end, careers were destroyed, hearts were broken, and one person walked away with everything. This is not a love story. This is a strategy game where the prize was someone's heart. Let's begin. The day the office got quiet Monday morning, 9 a.m. The office was loud like always, keyboards clicking, coffee machines humming, small talk about the weekend. Then Ethan walked in. He didn't smile, didn't wave, just nodded at the manager and sat down at his new desk. He wore a plain shirt, no watch, no laptop stickers, nothing that said, "Look at me." By 10 a.m., people forgot he was there. By noon, everything changed. There was a problem, a big one. For 3 months, the analytics team couldn't figure out why customer data kept breaking the system. Meetings were held, experts were called, nothing worked. Ethan was eating lunch alone when he heard two people talking about it near the coffee machine. He listened for 30 seconds. Then he walked over. "Ethan, excuse me, are you talking about the database error?" They looked at him. "New guy, quiet guy, nobody guy." Analyst. "Yeah, why?" Ethan. "You're cleaning the data after import, right? You should clean it before. The system can't handle double formatting." Silence. Analyst. "Wait, what?" Ethan. "Check your import sequence. The error happens because you're reformatting already formatted data. Just swap the steps." He walked away. Didn't wait for a response. Didn't ask for credit. 1 hour later, the problem was fixed. The office got very, very quiet. Two women noticed the same thing. Two women heard what happened. But they saw different things. Clara was the senior data strategist. She'd been with the company for 6 years. Smart, respected, a little distant. People admired her, but didn't really know her. When she heard about Ethan's solution, she didn't feel jealous. She felt curious. Clara, thinking. He didn't just solve it. He saw the structure. Most people see problems. He sees systems. She made a mental note. Watch this one. Nina was different. She was the rising star. 3 years in the company and already leading projects. Confident, charming. Always 2 steps ahead in meetings. When she heard about Ethan, she smiled. But her smile had a different meaning. Nina, thinking. New guy, smart guy, humble guy. People are going to love him. I need to know him first. Two women, same office, same man on their radar. Neither knew the other was watching. The meeting that changed the Power Map Friday. The weekly strategy meeting, 15 people in the room. Clara presented a new model she'd been building for weeks. It was good, really good. Everyone nodded. A few people clapped. Then the manager asked, "Manager, any questions?" Silence. No one wanted to challenge Clara. She was too sharp, too prepared. Except Ethan raised his hand. "Ethan, can I ask something?" Clara looked at him. The new guy. The quiet one. Clara. "Go ahead." Ethan. "Your model assumes consistent user behavior. But what if behavior changes based on the season? Wouldn't that break your prediction pattern?" The room went still. Clara stared at him. Not angry, not defensive. Just thinking. 10 seconds passed. Clara. "You're right. I missed that variable." People looked at each other. Clara never admitted mistakes. Not like this. Not this fast. Clara. "If we add seasonal weight to the behavior nodes, the model becomes adaptive instead of static. That's actually better." She smiled. A real smile. Clara. "Thank you, Ethan." The room clapped. Longer this time. But they weren't clapping for Clara anymore. Nina was sitting in the back. She wasn't clapping. She was watching Ethan. And she was memorizing the way Clara looked at him. After the meeting, Nina moved fast. She caught Ethan by the elevator. Nina. "Hey! That was impressive in there." Ethan. "I just asked a question." Nina. "A smart question. You made Clara's model better. That takes guts. Most people are too scared to challenge her. Ethan. I wasn't challenging her. I was just curious. Nina smiled. A warm, confident smile. Nina. Well, curiosity looks good on you. If you ever want to grab coffee and talk strategy, let me know. I think we'd work well together. Ethan. Thanks. Maybe. She walked away, satisfied. First move made. But Clara was waiting too. She found Ethan later, in the quiet hallway near the research room. Clara. Ethan. He turned. Clara. I wanted to say thank you again. You didn't just correct me. You improved my work. That doesn't happen often. Ethan. You made it easy? You actually listened. Clara paused. Something about the way he said it felt personal. Clara. Most people don't, Ethan. I noticed. They looked at each other. 3 seconds, maybe 4. Then Clara nodded and walked away. But Ethan's reaction was different this time. With Nina, he was polite. With Clara, he was present. And somewhere in the back of the office, Nina saw them talking. She didn't hear the words, but she saw the pause, the eye contact, the space between them that felt too comfortable. First crack. For the next 2 weeks, something strange kept happening. Every time Ethan went to get coffee, Clara was there. Not waiting for him, just there. Reading reports, checking her phone, thinking. Ethan, we keep running into each other. Clara. Small office. Ethan. Or good timing. Clara. Maybe both. They started talking. Small things at first. Work problems, system designs, data structures. But then the conversations changed. Clara. Do you ever feel like people don't actually want solutions? They just want to be right? Ethan. Every day. Clara. Then why do you keep solving things? Ethan. Because the problem doesn't care about feelings. It just wants to be fixed. Clara smiled. A small, private smile. Clara. I like that. But Nina was watching the pattern. She noticed the timing, the repeated coffee runs, the way Clara's schedule shifted slightly toward Ethan's. So Nina started making her own coincidences. She booked the same meeting rooms, joined the same project calls, sat near him during lunch. But Ethan never ran into Nina by accident, because Nina made sure it looked intentional. And Ethan noticed the difference. It started in a manager's email. Email text. Great work this month. Clara, your adaptive model is exceeding projections. Nina, your client strategy is ahead of schedule. And Ethan, your troubleshooting has saved us significant time. 3 names, 3 compliments. But people started reading between the lines. In the break room, coworker, 1. Did you see the email? They're comparing Clara and Nina now. Coworker 2. Because of Ethan. He's the reason the managers are paying attention again. Coworker 1. You think they're competing? Coworker 2. They don't have to say it, just watch. And people did watch. They watched when Nina laughed louder at Ethan's comments. They watched when Clara stayed late on the same nights Ethan worked overtime. They watched the way both women changed their routes to pass by his desk. No one said anything, but everyone saw it. The quiet competition had begun. One afternoon, a coworker asked Ethan directly, Coworker, so who do you prefer working with, Clara or Nina? Ethan stopped typing. He looked up slowly. Ethan, why does it matter? Coworker, just curious. They're both smart, but different styles, you know? Ethan, neither. Coworker, what? Ethan, I prefer working with neither, yet. Coworker, what does that mean? But Ethan went back to his work. He didn't explain, didn't smile, just ended the conversation. That one word, yet, spread through the office like smoke. Clara heard it. She didn't react, but she wondered what Ethan was waiting for. Nina heard it too, and she decided she wouldn't wait at all. Clara didn't want to feel this way. She didn't ask for it. For 6 years, she kept her distance from everyone. Work was clean, safe, predictable. But Ethan made her feel something she hadn't felt in years. Understood. Not admired. Not impressed. Understood. He saw the way her mind worked. He didn't praise it or fear it. He just matched it. And that scared her. Clara, internal thought. This is dangerous. I don't do this. I don't feel this. But every time he spoke to her, she felt it anyway. Nina's attraction was different. She didn't feel understood. She felt challenged. For 3 years, she'd been the smartest person in most rooms. People wanted her attention, her approval, her strategy. But Ethan didn't need her, didn't chase her, didn't react the way others did. And that made her want him more. Nina, internal thought. He's not ignoring me. He just doesn't see me as competition, yet. Two women, two different reasons. Same impossible feeling. Attraction without permission. And once it started, neither could stop it. It started as a joke. At least, that's how Nina made it sound. During a team meeting, she smiled and said, Nina, what if we made things interesting? A productivity challenge. 3 people, 1 month. Whoever delivers the most optimized results wins. The manager laughed. Manager. Who's competing? Nina. Me, Clara, and Ethan. Clara looked up sharply. Clara. I didn't agree to this. Nina. Come on, Clara, it's just for fun, unless you're worried. The room went quiet. Everyone waited for Clara's response. Clara. Fine. Ethan. I'll do it. Nina smiled. She'd set the board. Now the game could begin. But what Nina didn't know was this. Ethan had already decided how it would end. Week 1. Ethan's numbers were good. Not great. Just good. Week 2. He dropped slightly. Week 3. He stayed average. Nina's results were excellent. She was winning, and she made sure people noticed. Clara's results were strong too. Steady, precise. But she wasn't celebrating. Because Clara noticed something no one else did. Ethan wasn't trying to win. He was trying to watch. She saw him tracking their work patterns, observing how they responded to pressure, how they adjusted their strategies. He was learning them. One evening, she found him working late. Clara. You're holding back. Ethan. What do you mean? Clara. Your results. You're smarter than this, so why are you losing on purpose? Ethan looked at her. A long, quiet look. Ethan. Because winning isn't always the strategy. Clara. Then what is? Ethan. Seeing who plays fair when they think they're ahead. Clara felt a chill, not fear, recognition. He wasn't competing with them, he was studying them. It happened on a Thursday morning. Clara opened her email and found something that shouldn't be there. A confidential file. Nina's client strategy breakdown. Full details. Passwords. Timelines. The subject line. FW. Updated strategy for internal review only. It was sent from Nina's account. But the recipient list was wrong. Clara was included by mistake. Or was it? Clara stared at the screen. She could use this. She could see Nina's entire plan, adjust her own strategy, and win the challenge easily. But something felt wrong. She checked the metadata. The email was sent at 11:47 p.m. Nina usually left the office by 6 p.m. Clara looked across the office. Nina was at her desk, calm, working. If this was a mistake, Nina would have noticed by now. She would have sent a recall, an apology. But there was nothing. Clara, thinking, this wasn't a mistake, this was bait. She deleted the email without opening the attachment. And she didn't tell anyone. But Ethan saw her delete it. He was watching her screen reflection in the window behind her. And he knew exactly what just happened. Ethan started changing his routines. Small things, unpredictable things. Some days he arrived early, some days late. He worked from different desks, took breaks at random times. He was testing something, and then he confirmed it. Someone was tracking him. His project files were being accessed at strange hours, not downloaded, just opened, reviewed. His calendar had viewer logs from an anonymous account. Someone was watching his every move. So Ethan let them watch, but he started feeding false patterns. He'd work on decoy projects, leave half-finished documents open, create fake schedules. He was running a counter-operation, and whoever was tracking him had no idea they were being tracked back. Nina stopped flirting. It wasn't working. Ethan was polite, but distant, professional. He treated her the same way he treated everyone else. Except Clara. With Clara, he paused. He listened differently. He leaned in when she spoke. Nina saw it. And jealousy turned into something sharper, colder, smarter. Nina, thinking, if I can't make him see me, I'll make him need me. She started positioning herself as essential. She joined every project Ethan touched, volunteered to assist Clara's team so she'd have access to both of them. She smiled in meetings, stayed helpful, stayed close. But at night, alone in her apartment, she researched them both, their work histories, their patterns, their weaknesses. Jealousy had learned to think, and that made it dangerous. It started with a rumor, quiet at first, then louder. Someone mentioned that Clara used to work at a competitor, that she left suddenly, that there were questions about data protection, nothing confirmed, just whispers. But the whispers had timing. They appeared the same week Clara's performance review was scheduled. Clara knew exactly what was happening. Someone was planting doubt, making her look untrustworthy right when it mattered most. She didn't panic. She pulled her old contracts, her clearance records, her exit documentation. Everything was clean, legal, documented. But the damage was already done. People looked at her differently now. And when she walked into the break room, conversations stopped. She didn't know who started the rumor. But she knew who benefited. Nina's project was suddenly getting more attention, more resources, more trust. Clara didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, she did something smarter. She started documenting everything. The reviews came back. Clara, 8,700. Strong performance. Minor notes about collaboration. Nina, 9,100. Exceptional leadership. High marks across the board. Ethan, 9,400. Clara stared at her score. She delivered better results than Nina this quarter. The data proved it. But Nina's score was higher. And Ethan's was higher than both of them. Something didn't add up. She requested the evaluation breakdown. It took 3 days, but she finally got it. The scoring criteria had changed. New categories were added. Adaptability, team influence, strategic presence. Categories that favored personality over performance. Categories where Nina excelled. And the timing? The new criteria were approved 2 weeks before reviews. Right after Nina met privately with the department head. Clara, thinking. She didn't just compete. She changed the rules. Clara closed the document. She didn't feel angry. She felt something colder, respect, and resolve. A new project landed. High stakes, high visibility. The manager needed someone to lead it. He chose Ethan. Manager. Pick your team, 2 people. You have full authority. Ethan thought for 5 seconds. Ethan. Clara and Nina. The manager blinked. Manager. Both? Ethan. Yes. Manager. You know they're different working styles. Ethan. I know. That's why I want both. But here's what Ethan did next. He gave Nina full visibility into the project. Every file, every update, every decision. He made her feel included, trusted, essential. But the actual strategy? The core decisions? Those he discussed with Clara, privately, in person. Nina had access to everything, but Clara had his attention. And in the game they were playing, attention was worth more than access. Clara started questioning everything. Was Ethan being kind or calculating? Did he see her as a partner or a tool? Every compliment felt like it had a second meaning. Every private conversation felt like it could be part of a larger plan. Clara, thinking, am I falling for him or falling for his strategy? She hated the doubt, but she couldn't stop it. One night, working late, she asked him directly, Clara, why did you choose me for this project? Ethan, because you see problems the way I do. Clara, that's not an answer. Ethan, yes it is. Clara, Ethan, why me? He stopped typing, turned to face her. Ethan, because when you look at me, you're not trying to figure out how to use me. You're trying to understand me. There's a difference. Clara's breath caught. It was the first time he said something that wasn't about work. Clara. And Nina? Ethan. Nina's brilliant, but she's always 3 moves ahead. With you, I don't have to count moves. Clara didn't respond. She didn't know how. But for the first time, love didn't feel like strategy. It felt real, and that terrified her. It was a small moment, a nothing moment. Nina said something funny in a meeting. Ethan smiled. Not a polite smile, a real one. The kind that reaches your eyes. It lasted 2 seconds, maybe less. But Clara saw it, and something inside her cracked. She'd been telling herself she didn't care, that this was just work, that feelings were irrelevant, but seeing him smile at Nina like that, really smile, it hurt in a way she wasn't prepared for. After the meeting, Clara stayed distant, colder. When Ethan tried to talk to her, she kept it professional. Ethan, are you okay? Clara, I'm fine. Ethan, you're not. Clara, I said I'm fine. But she wasn't, and Ethan knew it. Nina saw the shift too, and she saw the opportunity. If Clara was pulling away, Nina would step closer. The war had officially begun. In the next team meeting, something unexpected happened. Nina defended Clara, publicly, loudly. Someone questioned Clara's approach on a report. Before Clara could respond, Nina jumped in. Nina, actually, Clara's method is the right one. I've reviewed the data myself. She's not just correct, she's 3 steps ahead of what we asked for. People looked surprised. Nina praising Clara? That was new. Clara should have felt relieved, grateful, but she didn't. Because Nina's defense was too detailed, too specific. It revealed things about Clara's work that shouldn't have been public yet. Methods, sources, internal notes. Nina had access to Clara's files, and she just told the entire room exactly how Clara worked. It looked like loyalty, but it was exposure. Now everyone knew Clara's strategy, her patterns, her techniques. And Nina had just made herself look generous while making Clara vulnerable. Clara, thinking, that wasn't defense. That was a dissection. She smiled politely and said thank you. But inside, she was screaming. Monday morning. Ethan's desk was empty. No email, no message, no explanation. Tuesday, still gone. Wednesday, people started asking questions. Coworker, where's Ethan? Manager, personal leave, he'll be back soon. But there was no timeline, no details, nothing. Clara checked his project files. Untouched. His calendar was cleared. His access logs showed no activity. Nina tried calling him, straight to voicemail. Both women felt the same thing. Panic. Not because the work was delayed, but because they didn't know where he was, or why he left. And not knowing felt like losing control. Clara kept working, but she checked her email every 10 minutes. Nina smiled through meetings, but her hands were shaking. For 5 days, Ethan was a ghost, and his absence revealed how much power he'd quietly taken. Friday afternoon. An email went out to the entire department. Email. Internal audit begins Monday. All project files, communications, and access logs will be reviewed. Full cooperation required. No explanation, no warning, just the announcement. People panicked. Audits meant one thing: someone did something wrong. Clara immediately started reviewing her work. Everything was clean, documented, proper. But then she noticed something. Her access logs showed file requests she didn't make, reports she didn't open, timestamps that didn't match her schedule. Someone had used her credentials. Nina had the same problem. Her accounts showed activity during hours she wasn't even in the office. Both women realized the same thing. They were being set up, and every trail led somewhere, but not to the person they expected. Every trail avoided Ethan completely. On Monday, before the audit started, Clara was called into a private meeting. The department head smiled. Department head, Clara, we want to promote you. Senior Director of Strategy, significant raise. Your own team, you've earned it. Clara should have been happy. This was everything she'd worked for. Clara. When does it start? Department head. Immediately. We just need you to sign the contract. He slid a folder across the table. Thick, official. Department head. Take your time, but we'd like your answer by end of day. Clara took the folder, smiled, thanked him, but she didn't sign it. Not yet. Because something felt wrong. The timing, the urgency, the pressure. She went back to her desk and started reading. Every page, every clause, every footnote, and that's when she found it. That same day, Nina got a different meeting, not with the department head, with someone from legal. Legal rep. Nina, the audit is going to uncover some irregularities. We want to be transparent with you. Nina's heart dropped. Nina, what kind of irregularities? Legal rep. Access violations. Unauthorized data reviews. We believe someone on your team may have compromised protocols. Nina. I didn't. Legal rep. We're not accusing you, but we need your cooperation. If you help us identify the source, we can protect you from any fallout. Nina's mind raced. Nina, what do you need? Legal rep. A name. Who had access to your accounts? Who could have used your credentials? Nina thought about it. The late nights, the shared files, the person who always seemed one step ahead. Legal rep. We need your answer soon. The audit starts tomorrow. Nina nodded. She knew what they wanted, and she knew whose name would protect her. She just didn't know it was already too late. Clara read the promotion contract 3 times. Page 1, standard terms, salary, benefits, start date. Page 2, responsibilities, team structure, reporting chain. Page 3, the clause. Contract clause. Upon acceptance, employee agrees to transfer all project work, including proprietary models and research, to company ownership. Employee relinquishes individual claim to methodologies developed during employment. Clara stopped breathing. This wasn't just a promotion. This was a buyout. They wanted her work, her models, her strategies, everything she'd built. And buried in the footnotes, one more line. All derivative works based on collaboration with former employee Ethan Cole will be reassigned to current department leadership. Ethan's work, they were erasing him, taking his contributions and crediting them to the company. And if Clara signed, she'd be part of it. She closed the folder. Her hands were shaking, not from fear, from rage. Clara, thinking, they're not promoting me. They're buying my silence. Tuesday morning, Ethan came back. He walked into the office like nothing happened. Calm, polite, detached. People stared, whispered, waited for an explanation. He didn't give one. He sat at his desk, opened his laptop, started working. Clara walked past him twice. He didn't look up. Nina sent him a message. Nina's message. Where were you? No response. At lunch, Clara finally approached him. Clara. Ethan! He looked up. His face was unreadable. Ethan. Clara? Clara. Are you okay? Ethan. I'm fine. Clara. What happened? Ethan. Nothing that matters now. His tone was flat, empty, like he'd turned off the part of himself that used to connect. Clara felt a chill. This wasn't the Ethan she knew. This was someone who'd already decided how the story ends. Wednesday afternoon, Ethan stood up from his desk and walked to the center of the office. He didn't call a meeting, didn't send an email. He just stood there. People noticed. Conversations stopped. Clara looked up. Nina turned around. Ethan looked at both of them. Not angry, not sad, just present. He didn't say a word. He just looked. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15. The entire office was silent. Then he walked to the manager's office, handed in a folder, and walked out. Still no words, just movement. Clara and Nina both stood up at the same time. They didn't plan it, but they both felt it. Something just ended. Clara made her decision that night. She walked into the department head's office with the unsigned contract. Clara, I decline. The department head's smile faded. Department head. Clara, this is a significant opportunity. Clara, I know what it is, and I'm declining. Department head. May I ask why? Clara, because you're not promoting me. You're erasing someone, and I won't be part of that. She placed the folder on his desk and walked out. Nina made a different choice. She met with legal again, and she gave them a name. Nina. Clara had access. Clara knew the systems. If anyone compromised the data, it was her. The legal rep wrote it down, nodded, thanked her. Legal rep. You're protected now. Nina left the meeting feeling safe, secure, smart. She didn't realize she'd just signed her own end. Thursday, official announcement. Email. Ethan Cole has resigned effective immediately. We thank him for his contributions and wish him success in future endeavors. That was it. No farewell party, no exit interview mentioned. Just gone. People were shocked. He was the best analyst they had. Why would he leave? Clara read the email 3 times. She wanted to call him, text him, ask him why. But she didn't. Because deep down, she already knew. Ethan didn't lose. He left. And everyone who thought he lost was about to learn the difference. 3 months passed. The office moved on. Clara stayed. Nina got promoted. Ethan became a story people told new hires. Then, on a Tuesday morning, everything broke. A competitor launched a new product. A data platform so advanced, so precise, it made their entire system look ancient. The manager called an emergency meeting. Manager, how is this possible? This is our model, our structure. How did they build this? Someone pulled up the product documentation, the methodology, the design patterns. It was familiar, too familiar. Coworker. This looks like Ethan's work. The room went silent. Manager. That's impossible. Ethan signed an NDA. He can't. Coworker. Look at the credits. They scrolled down. And there it was. Product credits. Lead system architect, Ethan Cole. But that wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part was the name of the company. Ethan didn't join a competitor. He built one. That night, Clara's phone buzzed. An email from an address she didn't recognize. No subject line, just one sentence. Email. You were the only variable I couldn't predict. No signature, no explanation. But Clara knew who sent it. She knew the way he phrased things, the precision, the weight. She stared at the message for 10 minutes. Then she replied. Clara's reply. Was any of it real? 3 minutes later, another message. Ethan's reply. The part where I chose you over the plan? Yes. Everything else was just protecting that choice. Clara's hands trembled. She read it again. And again. Clara's reply. Why didn't you tell me? Ethan's reply. Because if I told you, you would have tried to stop me. Or worse, you would have helped me. And I couldn't let you lose what you built. Clara closed her eyes. Tears came. Not from sadness. From understanding. He left to protect her. He walked away so she wouldn't have to. Clara's reply. Where are you? Ethan's reply. Waiting, for you to decide if I'm worth finding. Nina found out differently. She was called into a meeting, not with her manager, with the executive board. They weren't smiling. Executive. Nina, we need to discuss your involvement in the data breach investigation. Nina's stomach dropped. Nina. I cooperated fully. I gave you everything you asked for. Executive. Yes. You gave us Clara's name. You said she compromised the system. Nina. Because she had access. Executive. We reviewed the logs, all of them. Clara's access was legitimate, documented, clean. Nina's face went pale. Executive. But yours wasn't. You accessed restricted files outside your clearance. You tracked employee activity without authorization. You manipulated review criteria. Nina. I was trying to help. Executive. You were trying to eliminate competition, and when we asked for your cooperation, you tried to frame a colleague. The executive slid a folder across the table. Nina opened it. Inside were screenshots, timestamps, access logs, all hers, all damning. Executive. Ethan Cole documented everything before he left, every irregularity, every violation. He built a case, and then he walked away. Nina's voice cracked. Nina. He set me up. Executive. No, you set yourself up. He just made sure we'd find it. Protection was never protection. It was evidence, and Nina had handed it to them herself. The following week, the company held an emergency board meeting. Executives, department heads, legal, and one unexpected guest. Ethan walked into the room. Suit, briefcase, calm. The CEO stood up. CEO. Mr. Cole, you're no longer employed here. This is a private meeting. Ethan. I'm here as a representative of Vertex Analytics. Your new competitor. He placed a folder on the table. Ethan. This is a cease and desist. You've been using my proprietary models without credit or compensation. I have documentation proving the work was mine before employment and was developed independently. The room erupted. Manager. You signed an NDA. Ethan. I signed an NDA covering company secrets, not my own research. I built those models on my own time, using my own resources. Check your contracts. I made sure of it. The legal team scrambled. They pulled his employment agreement, and Ethan was right. Every model, every innovation, every breakthrough, he'd documented it as personal research, developed outside work hours. CEO. This is corporate espionage. Ethan. This is me taking back what was always mine. You tried to bury my work, claim it, profit from it. I just made sure you couldn't. He turned to leave, then paused. Ethan. Oh, and one more thing. I'm offering jobs to anyone in this company who wants to work somewhere that values intelligence over politics. The offer stands for 2 weeks. He walked out. The room stayed silent for a full minute. After Ethan left, the company reviewed everything. Every email, every file, every conversation, and they saw it. The whole plan. Piece by piece. Ethan never competed in the challenge. He studied their methods. He never fought for position. He documented their violations. He didn't disappear randomly. He timed it to trigger the audit. Every move had a purpose. Every silence had weight. The coffee runs with Clara? He was keeping her close so she wouldn't get caught in the fallout. The visibility he gave Nina? He was letting her expose herself. The question he refused to answer. Neither, yet? He was waiting to see who would fight fair. Clara did. Nina didn't. And that decision shaped everything. Manager, realizing he wasn't playing the game, he was building a new one. In the final review, the board acknowledged something important. Nina was brilliant. Her strategies were sharp. Her execution was flawless. But she used her intelligence as a weapon, not to build, to destroy. She saw people as obstacles, love as leverage, trust as weakness. And in the end, her genius became her prison. Executive. Nina, you're talented, but talent without integrity is just damage waiting to happen. She was offered a choice. Resign quietly or face formal termination with the violations on record. Nina chose resignation. No fight, no argument. Because deep down, she knew. She'd won every battle and lost the war. She packed her desk in silence. No one said goodbye. As she walked out, she passed Clara in the hallway. Their eyes met. No words, just a look. Clara didn't gloat, didn't smile. She just nodded. And Nina understood. Clara had won without fighting, because she never saw it as a war. After everything settled, Clara received a message from Ethan's lawyer. It contained a file, a protected document, dated 3 months earlier. The title, Emergency Backup, in case of retaliation against Clara. Clara opened it. Inside were copies of every conversation, every meeting, Every decision where Clara had chosen integrity over advancement. Ethan had documented her honesty, her refusal to use the leaked email, her decision to decline the promotion. He'd protected her before she even knew she needed protection. At the bottom of the file, a note. Ethan's note. If you're reading this, it means they came after you. Use this to defend yourself. You earned the right to stay clean. E. Clara's breath caught. He'd been protecting her from the beginning, not because she was weak, because she was worth protecting. She saved the file. Then she made a call. Clara. Ethan, it's me. We need to talk. They met at a coffee shop, not the office, not a restaurant, somewhere quiet. Neutral. Ethan arrived first. Clara walked in 5 minutes later. They sat across from each other. No scripts, no plans. Clara. You could have told me. Ethan. Would you have let me leave? Clara. No. Ethan. That's why I didn't tell you. Silence. Comfortable silence. Clara. Was I part of the plan? Ethan. At first, yes. I needed someone smart enough to see the patterns, someone honest enough not to use them against me. Clara. And then? Ethan. Then you stopped being part of the plan. You became the reason I changed it. Clara looked down, then back up. Clara. I don't need you to say you love me. Ethan. Good, because I'm not going to. Clara. Why not? Ethan. Because you already know, and words wouldn't make it more true. Clara smiled. A real smile. The kind she hadn't shown anyone in years. Ethan. You saw me, not the strategy, not the intelligence, not the potential, just me. Clara. And you saw me the same way. Ethan. Yeah, I did. No confession, no declaration, just recognition. And somehow, that was enough. The company didn't collapse. There were no arrests. No scandals in the news. But it fell anyway. Quietly. Slowly. 3 senior employees left to join Ethan's company. Then 5 more. Then 12. The best minds. The honest ones. The people who were tired of playing games. Within 6 months, the company lost its competitive edge. Projects delayed. Clients left. Innovation stopped. Not because of sabotage, because the people who actually cared were gone. The CEO held meetings, offered raises, made promises. But trust, once broken, doesn't come back with money. The company survived, but it never thrived again. Nina moved to another city, another company, another chance. She was hired quickly. Her resume was impressive. Her interview was flawless. But something was different now. She didn't manipulate, didn't scheme, didn't play the game. Not because she'd changed, but because she was tired. Tired of winning battles that left her alone. Tired of being the smartest person in the room with no one to share it with. She never apologized, not to Clara, not to the company, not to herself. Because in her mind, she'd done what she had to do. She'd played the game the way it was designed. She just didn't realize until too late that some people weren't playing at all. Nina was brilliant. She was alone. And she'd chosen that. No redemption arc, no dramatic change, just consequence, quiet and permanent. Clara stayed at the old company for 3 more months. Then she left. Not because of pressure, because she was ready. Ethan offered her a position at Vertex Analytics. Lead strategist, full autonomy, partnership potential. She declined. Clara, I need to build something on my own first. Something that's mine, not ours, not theirs. Mine. Ethan, I understand. Clara, do you? Ethan, yes. Because if you came to me now, you'd always wonder if you did it because you loved me or because it was easy. Clara nodded. He got it. He always got it. Clara, when I'm ready. Ethan, I'll be here. They didn't work together, but they talked every week. Long conversations, deep questions, shared silence. They had dinner once a month, no agenda, no expectations, just presence. And slowly, carefully, they built something neither of them had planned. A relationship that didn't need labels, just truth. 2 years later, Clara launched her own consulting firm, small, independent, successful. Ethan's company was thriving, ethical, innovative, respected. They still weren't working together, but they were building parallel lives that intersected at all the right moments. One evening, they sat on a rooftop, city lights below, quiet above. Clara, do you ever think about what would have happened if you stayed? Ethan, every day. Clara, and? Ethan, I would have been successful, respected, comfortable, and completely alone. Clara, because of Nina? Ethan, because of me. I was using my intelligence to survive, not to connect. You changed that. Clara, how? Ethan, you made me want to be understood more than I wanted to win. Clara leaned her head on his shoulder. Not dramatic, just natural. Clara, intelligence isn't a weapon anymore, is it? Ethan, no, it's a gift. But only when you share it with someone who sees it as one. Silence. Comfortable. Complete. Love wasn't loud. It didn't announce itself. It didn't demand attention. It was patient. It was quiet. It was two brilliant people choosing to be human together. And it survived everything. Because real love isn't about who wins. It's about who stays. Not in the office, not in the game, but in the small, quiet moments when intelligence stops performing and just exists. Clara found someone who saw her mind and loved her heart. Ethan found someone who saw his strategy and chose his soul. And Nina? Nina found success, but she never found that. Some stories end with triumph, some end with tragedy. This one ended with truth. And truth, unlike victory, doesn't fade. So what's the lesson here? Intelligence is powerful, but it's not everything. You can be the smartest person in the room and still lose what matters. You can win every competition and still end up alone. Or you can be like Clara and choose honesty when strategy would be easier. Or you can be like Ethan and build something real instead of just winning something temporary. The office doesn't tell you this. The world doesn't teach you this. But love, real love, isn't about being impressive. It's about being seen. Nina was impressive. Clara was seen. And in the end, that made all the difference. Thank you for watching. If this story made you think, feel, or question something, leave a comment below. Tell me, would you choose to win or would you choose to be understood? Subscribe for more stories about the games people play when intelligence becomes both a gift and a weapon. Until next time, choose wisely.